Oh, I always had a lot of animals. We had one of those houses that had horses and dogs and cats and rabbits and mallard ducks that flew over that we clipped the wings on until they healed up and flew away the next summer, you know, and things like that. So we always had a lot of animals. And I was interested in sciences too. So as I started out, I thought I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer. I wanted to go to Case. So I took all the physics I could get in school and all the calculus and all that. And as it turned out, those were the courses that would wash you out if you wanted to go into medical school or veterinary medicine. So I got a good background in them. And then I was out riding my horse one day, and I said, "Man, you don't want to be sitting in a lab, you know, for the rest of your life." I said, "This is what I really love to do." So I had a horse that, like Jack London said about his dog, if you told him to jump over a cliff for you, he'd do it. My horse would do that for me, you know. So I just decided to do a complete turnaround and went to Ohio State. Nobody from my family either side. A lot of people at the time period in the 60s, they were the first person in the extended family to ever go to college, you know. So it's what I did. I went to Ohio State and I took the classes as quickly and as many as I could. And I was one of 2 guys that got in 2 years. So here I am. When I interviewed for vet school, I told them I wanted to be able to have a profession where I could keep getting better until I decided to quit, and where I could stay in one place and become a member of a community and raise a family. And you know, you're an 18-year-old, 19-year-old talking to them then, but you know, those 3 reasons actually turned out to be the reasons I did it, and why I've enjoyed it, and why I've stayed in it. And there again, when there was no specialty fields, you just kind of practice on, you know, you'd ask the owner, like we were doing knee surgeries, and I would ask him, can I practice a knee surgery on the dog after I put him down, and some of them would let me. And that's how I learned how to do knee surgeries, and I learned to do hip ablations and stuff like that. So you pretty much just bought textbooks and taught yourself, you know? But that's essentially the story of why I wanted to become a vet. Yep. And also with the owners, you know, with the people, because you see them come in over the decades, you know, more than years, really. So you get to know their family, the kids, what they're doing, what their aspirations are, you know, and sort of go through each day and take it as it comes, you know. And some of them are real helter-skelter and emergencies and life and death stuff, and some of them are just pretty easy, you know. So I wouldn't think in terms of challenges, I don't know. Well, for a while when I was first open, it was like zoo medicine. I had a guy bring a puma in, and he was almost full grown. He got in a fight with this other puma that he was using for advertisements. Like, remember, you used to see him on Mercury, for Mercury cars? And they got into a fight, and it tore the one cat's ear pretty badly. And I didn't know how to anesthetize a puma, especially almost a full-size one, you know. So Barbie was there, she'll remember. There was a dachshund that this little old lady brought in. We used to have a window there with a shelf on it. She set the dachshund up there and it barked at the puma the whole time I was working on it. So I had him put it up on my table. And I actually put lidocaine in the ear to numb it and sewed it up. Yeah, so that was one. I had an African lion come in with an intestinal intussusception. This guy, he had 2 black bears. And I kept telling him, you have to vaccinate them for dog distemper or they'll die. They'll catch it, because back then it was a common disease. And they both died. He was on a Waldermain Road. And he had an African lion that at one point, she was 148 pounds, and he brought her in when she was just her skeleton. The guy was crazy. He had 3 steppers, those adders that if they bite you, you're dead in 3 steps. So I operated on the lion, but she was too far gone. One guy I came in a couple years ago, and he said, you know, you were the only guy that could ever work on my squirrel monkey. So it's, you know, it's been interesting. And then I'd be out doing large animals for, you know, from about 6 o'clock in the morning to 9. Then I'd do small animals, then I'd go back out and do large animals again till like 6 in the morning. Yeah, oftentimes, because you get animals that were colicky or something, you have to go back out. So it was intense. I don't know. I worked on some pretty big hawks and things like that. Now you're not allowed to even have a feather funnel. You have to be a federally licensed veterinarian to do anything on it. Guy used to bring in seagulls that he'd find out down at the lake, because that's when they have those 6-packs with beer, and they have the plastic things with the rings around them, and they get broken legs and set their legs, stuff like that, and then just turn them loose. I always thought those were the hardest to work on. Those big water birds with those big beaks, and you can get your eye taken out. Yep. Looking back on it, I'm probably going to do this for 3 or 4 more years, you know. So I'm getting old and I'm tired a lot, but I'm still liking it. But just looking back on it and being in the midst of it, I'm just grateful for it. I think the most important thing in life, besides looking at the incredible world with a sense of wonder, is a sense of gratitude. So I'm just happy for every accident that got me here, you know.